If you've ever wondered if it's possible to sense or see energy with your physical eyes, the answer is yes. If you want to learn more, then keep on watching. Welcome back to Eliminating Stories. I'm Anna Segura, and I'm so happy you're here. Today, we're diving into another energy sensing technique known as aura observation. An aura is an electromagnetic field that surrounds all life forms. You can find them on humans, on animals, on trees, plants, flowers, etc., even objects that are found in nature. And aura is basically a reflection of our spiritual, physical, and emotional state of being. And the cool thing is, even objects owned by someone carries energies, but those can actually be sensed through a different technique known as psychometry. I'll cover that in a different video. But back to the topic at hand. So auras consist of different colors, different patterns, different sizes, and they all represent unique qualities and characteristics. So by observing auras, starting with our own, you always want to get to know your energy first because everything starts with us. We can really tap into this energetic information and get to know ourselves on a much deeper level and our overall state of being. So, for example, bright, colorful auras may indicate a lot of positive energies. If you're falling in love, if you are feeling joyful, if you achieve something amazing, or if you're just feeling peaceful and calm, your aura is actually going to reflect that. It's really beautiful and an exciting and fun way to get to know yourself and how your state of being influences the energies that is reflecting back out into our physical reality or out into the world. But one thing to keep in mind is because our auras are a reflection of our state of being, it's essentially a snapshot in time, meaning depending on how we are feeling and what we may be experiencing in our lives, our auras are going to be shifting and changing to reflect that. So just be mindful of this when you try this exercise out on yourself. And also be careful about jumping to any conclusions if you happen to notice auras in other people. You never know what someone is going through. And if someone is going through a hard time, for example, they've experienced a lot of traumas or whatnot, they're just working through those events in their lives. In those periods of time, they may actually embody a dull or murkier auras, and it may actually be a sign that they need a little bit of compassion and empathy from you. So it can actually also be used as a tool to figure out how you can better support and improve your relationships. Alternatively, when combined with other pieces of information like your intuition and other spiritual gifts within you, aura readings can be helpful in setting healthy boundaries where necessary. So, for example, if there's anyone with really harmful intentions and they have a lot of dark energies within them, then you may be able to observe really dark, gray, or even blackish types of auras. With that, if you notice that you are uneasy or uncomfortable about certain individuals and you can't quite pinpoint why, but your physical body and your intuition is always on guard around that person, well, if you can actually sense or see their auras, that may be another data point in your discernment and to determine how you want to protect yourself going forward with that individual. Okay, so with all that said, let's go ahead and talk about how you can actually start to observe auras. So step one, Having a very calm and peaceful state of mind is going to be incredibly beneficial. So you may want to take a couple of deep breaths and, if possible, get into a meditative state of mind and just open up your senses. Two. So there's two conditions that you're going to have to satisfy to make aura readings a lot easier on yourself. The first thing is lighting. I found that it's best when you do this exercise under very well lit, natural lighting conditions. So, in front of a window, for instance. And the second condition is it requires a light background. So, ideally, you want the background to be white or off white. And if for some reason, if you don't have a plain white wall in your space, then just get a white poster board or something that's kind of large enough to cover your hand or your torso, and then just kind of set it up against background behind you. Then make sure you have a mirror in front of you as well. For number 3, so in terms of subjects, if you're just working on this exercise by yourself, the easiest thing is to use your hand, and you're just going to basically stretch it out in front of you against that white background. And what you want to do is just kind of look at the space in between your hands and stare at the empty spaces, okay? If it's on yourself, then you can stand or sit in front of a mirror with that white background behind you, and you can kind of begin to focus your gaze either in your third eye area. If you have long hair, tie your hair back, and you can kind of look at your neck and shoulder area, but just find a focal point that you want to focus on initially. And then for both, what you're going to do is begin to relax your eyes and your gaze and take a few moments. It may take 20-second, 30-second-ish for your gaze to naturally start relaxing, and then make a conscious effort to relax your eyes and allow that subject area to essentially get out of focus. And what you'll start to notice when you do this is you're going to start to see this transparent outline. So I'm going to use my little teddy bear as an example, but you're going to see this whitish transparent outline surrounding that subject area. And then you know you're getting close when you start to notice that, because you have to keep pushing past that and continue to keep your gaze relaxed. And then you'll start to notice these very subtle colors start to spread around the subject area. And you may see different colors in different parts of the subject, or you may see a pretty dominant color around the subject and it just kind of spreading out into different colors, or it may just be a single color. It all depends. But yeah, you'll start to notice those colors, and it is like the neatest, coolest experience when you get to that point. So one thing to keep in mind though is that it's a very simple and easy process, but it can be kind of tricky because when your eyes are not used to staring in one area for a long time, they do get tired. And then when you blink, you essentially kind of have to start over because everything is coming into focus again. So you may need to try this a few times, but just make sure that the lighting is optimal and then background is as white as possible. And for some of you, it may come really naturally. And for others, it may require a couple of tries, but that's okay. It's meant to be a very fun exercise. So just be patient and keep practicing until you're actually able to see those colors. If you're doing this with a practice partner, it's essentially the same step. Have them sit or stand in a well-lit area, so facing a window and then the background behind them. And then from there, you can just kind of begin to gaze and then just allow your eyes to kind of work its magic. Have fun with it. It may be a little awkward at first, kind of staring at each other like that, but if they want to close their eyes, it may make things a little less awkward. Um, but yeah, just kind of try it on each other and see what colors you notice and just share your observations and see what you guys notice. So now let's talk about what this all means, right? There's actually quite a bit of resources out there around different aura colors and what they may represent. So for this one, I encourage you to do your own research around what these colors might represent. And there's going to be slightly different interpretation depending on what you use. But in those situations, what I would generally recommend is go with what resonates with you. So take note of how you are feeling when you're doing this exercise. So write down your emotional state, how you are feeling physically, and whether you're kind of doing this straight out of meditation or if you are on your spiritual journey, make note of where you are in your spiritual journey. So all of those different factors will come into play when it comes to the dominant colors that you notice around you or your subject. And so when you're doing the research, your intuition will let you know when you come across that piece of information that essentially interprets what they mean for you or your subject in that point in time. Let me know what colors showed up for you guys and how that resonated with your overall state of being. Learning how to read auras can actually be a pretty powerful skill that can really help you enhance your interactions with other people whenever you're given the right set of circumstances to be able to observe their auras. But more importantly, it provides us with very valuable information about ourselves and the overall state of being that we are embodying and projecting outwards into our physical world. And so I think for me personally, when combined with your other spiritual gifts and senses, really works together to gain a better understanding about yourself and the people that you're interacting with. So I think it's a helpful tool. And I think it's just a fun way to explore the world of energy. Like I said, it's a simple process, but it can be tricky. So if you require a couple tries, just be patient and remember your intuition and sensing energies always work best when you are having fun. So allow the joy of learning and experimenting with the process to help you in learning how to read auras, and always just kind of keep that positive intention in mind whenever it comes to anything energy related. So with all that said, I actually wanted to prepare a couple of exercises that you and I can do together. I think that would also be kind of fun, actually. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. So with that said, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe for more videos related to energy healing and related topics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.